Moe Koaik, great to get you on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks very much. Can you give me a quick introduction and we'll take it from there?
Sure. My name is Moe Koaik. Of course, I go by Mo. I was born and raised in Dubai. I'm 46 years old right now. And my career in real estate didn't start directly in real estate as full-time. I was in private banking. I was in banking for some time. And of course, in private banking, you deal with high wealth individuals and they diversify their assets. And at the time, in around 2008, there was a boom in Dubai in the real estate market. So it was very attractive for foreign investors and resident investors who were banking with us at the time. I was with Credit Suisse to invest in the real estate market. And I helped find good opportunities for them. And that was the first interaction with real estate or property market in the UAE for me. Many years later, I've joined Property Finder, and I helped set up their international locations in 6 countries and grew the teams there, and they became a very successful story, especially in Egypt. And at the same time, I was always doing real estate on the side, until about 3 years ago when I decided to do it full time.
Fantastic. I mean, it's been a really good career thus far. I particularly want to get into Property Finder because I'm fascinated by that. Recently, you've come across and joined us at eXp.
Yes.
So I want to talk about that. You've become an active agent now. 5 deals
Yes,
in the last week.
Yes.
And that's brilliant. Yeah, looking
Thank you.
forward to getting into that. But let's go back to the early years. So you said you grew up in Dubai.
Yeah, I did.
What was that like in the early days?
Oh my
Because
God,
for
it
us
was amazing.
expats, we see it today, and it's got whatever 3-4 million population, but it was so different then when you were growing up.
I mean, the population was around maybe 900,000 or close to 1 million in the entire country
Right.
at the time in the 80s.
The whole of UAE.
The whole of UAE
Yeah.
in the 80s. So there were only a few schools. There was one university. There was one park, Safa Park. Every birthday, every year, my birthday was done in Safa Park. So I have lovely memories there. It was a bigger park then before the canal went in and they had to cut it in half.
It's a great park, isn't it?
It is a great park. Safa is still
good
one of my favorites because it takes me back, right? All the photos that people see and sometimes post, like Dubai in the 90s compared to today, to me, I look at it like, I know it. I drove through these roads. I didn't drive, but I was a passenger of these roads going to Abu Dhabi, a 2-lane highway all the way to Abu Dhabi. And you get some massive roundabouts. And that transformation is amazing.
2 lanes to 8 lanes now in places,
exactly.
Isn't it?
And now that's just Sheikh Zayed Road. Now we have 3 highways that go to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
You got Sheikh Zayed Road, and you got the 311 and the 611 as well, all the way to Abu Dhabi. And they're still packed. So that's amazing. It's just amazing to witness all this, where Dubai or where UAE in general has gone to. To me, it's like I'm like in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, living the dream. I mean, it's just that I got to live and witness all of that. It's just a privilege, really.
Yeah, and you've fully taken advantage of it. So what made you get into banking? What did you study at uni?
I did study finance and banking, actually. So it was my major. But funnily enough, I didn't start with banking. I started in HR.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in human resources and with a major company in Jebel Ali Free Zone. It's one of the biggest companies until today. When they have projects, they would have 6,000 people on site here in Jebel Ali Free Zone. It's called McDermott. Basically, they work in fabrication for oil and gas. And they've been around in the country since the 60s. Actually, the entire Dubai Creek was occupied by McDermott before the opening of Jebel Ali Port in 1986, where it got relocated. So my career started there in HR, and then with Dubai Islamic Bank was my first job in a bank, but it was in HR. At the time, in 2002, Dubai Islamic Bank wanted to revamp the image of the bank. They went through some crisis the year before, and the Dubai government had stepped in, and they wanted to revamp the bank and give it a new image and hire and put new standards and hire like real good professionals from around the world into the bank. So I was part of that human resources team to attract and bring in talent. Within 2 years, actually, we did a really good job. The bank is where it is today because of that transformation in 2002. I also had an offer from the Credit Suisse. Credit Suisse at the time was a representative bank, and DIFC was just launching with the Gate building, was about to launch in 2004. So Credit Suisse were looking for professionals in the industry, especially people with background in banking, to hire. And I moved into Credit Suisse to help grow the bank. And then quickly enough, since my background was banking and finance, I went to the front line and worked in the private banking sector.
Yeah, because you'd got the academic, you got the qualifications.
Exactly.
And because so that was a massive move for you, wasn't it?
It
That
was
a big break, getting the Credit Suisse
Absolutely.
position.
And apparently I got the character to be in the front line, so people like me. I got the likability, as they said. So
You're a people person, aren't you? As well as understanding the finance and business. So it's a great combination.
It was a great combination. So that was amazing, and that's where I got to introduce, like I said, to first real estate transaction with my investors that they used to bank with us.
Yeah.
At the time. Yeah.
And then from Credit Suisse, you went to Property Finder.
I did.
Which is a huge portal here. And did you go straight in as head of operations for international?
Yes.
How did you get such a prestigious position?
Well, a lot of it had to do with some of the studies I was doing. So while I was in the banking as well, I was studying tech. So, and I had good relationship with Michael Lahani, actually, the founder of Property Finder, and he wanted somebody that he could trust and somebody who knows the region really well. And me being with the bank, I was traveling to the same areas, meeting all my clients in MENA region, Middle East and North Africa. And Michael had the idea of, or Property Finder in general, had an idea of expansion because they wanted to raise the next round of funding to expand in the Middle East, and they wanted to prove that this business would work in these areas as well. So that's where it came from. And he gave me the assignment of going into these locations, setting up the offices, finding the team, and put them together and find the strategy to penetrate that market or localize the product for each market.
Yeah.
So that's how it started.
Okay. So when you first started, it was just in Dubai or UAE?
I was in UAE.
Yeah.
But the mission was clear.
Yeah, but it was covering UAE rather than Dubai at the time. It was covering the whole of the country.
Exactly, it was covering the whole country. It was actually Abu Dhabi and Dubai and a little bit in the Northern Emirates.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then where was the first? Because I know you set up in 6 countries.
Right.
Which is quite some task. Where did you start? Egypt?
No, I would start with Qatar and Bahrain. That was the first 2 countries we started with. Qatar was the first, then it was Bahrain. They were the nearest, and there was in terms of travel, in terms of finding the qualities, and sometimes shifting some of the people that we have that have quality from here to there was the easier transformation. And then we expanded to other countries like Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, it was an acquisition. We acquired an online business that had just started out and had a small portfolio of clients.
So that speeded things up.
So that speeded things up.
Yeah.
At the time, licensing in the KSA was not as easy or as smooth as it is in Dubai. So it was easier to acquire a business and keep the head there and introduce our strategy and the way we do things to Saudi Arabia with that platform. In Morocco, we done the same. There was a platform as well that we acquired, and we expanded from there. And we did the same in Lebanon.
Can you talk about sort of numbers in, say, Morocco? What would the sort of figures be? Can you discuss that? Or,
to be honest,
or were you not involved with that side?
I was, but honestly, it would have to be a guess, because that was back in 2016. I think is the last time I saw these numbers. But since then, actually, Lebanon and Morocco are separate now. They've been sold out.
Okay.
So they sold the business in Morocco and
just
Lebanon.
Wasn't working to their satisfaction, and
yes. So Morocco was not doing as well as we hoped it would. Lebanon, for the reasons of the economy crisis that happened, started in 2019, and then COVID did not help. And with the ongoing political situation, economic situation, it did not make sense to maintain or keep Lebanon there. So it was sold.
Yeah. And then you moved into Egypt after.
It was before they sold. We opened Egypt actually early on after KSA, and Egypt, it was start from scratch. And we started with a team of 4 people.
Right.
And today is over 50, I believe. I think.
Wow.
Look at Egypt. And Egypt is such a success story. It was amazing.
You must look back on with quite a bit of pride setting that
Most
up.
definitely, because that was the country that actually helped Property Finder raise the round of funding, the recent round of funding, or scale up the business. Really, it was Egypt, one of the biggest success stories.
Yeah. And you were telling me something really interesting. When you first went into Egypt, the way that users interacted with the website, whether it was mobile or whether it was online, just using desktop, the web browser, they struggled, didn't they? So you had to adapt it.
Of course. So this is one of the greatest things I was involved in, because you have to learn every market. So I mean, just because you have a successful product, a tech product in one country that's working really well, it's not just copy and paste. You can't just take the same product and put it there and expect it to work. No. So the user experience is completely different. They're used to certain websites that they use there, certain way of searching for things, certain way of looking for things, or even when they go shopping online or use apps, it's completely different. I'll give you a few examples. So in Egypt, we found that the peak times when they use the applications or go to the website were during working hours. Why? Is because they have free internet.
Right. Yeah.
We found
in those days less advanced.
Exactly.
Than some countries.
So the data packages probably were costly, so they didn't want to do it on the go on their mobile, right? So the desktop was doing better than the app would do.
Right.
For example, for instance, Dubai was completely opposite. On the mobile was 70% more, or it was 70% or more than the desktop visits. In Egypt was the opposite. In Dubai or in UAE, we relied heavily on Google platform to do AdWords and SEO for
just to get the
marketing.
name out there, because
Exactly.
people hadn't heard of Property Finder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in Egypt at the time, Google was not the reliable source. It wasn't the place to go to look for things. Everything was on Facebook.
Right.
Yes.
So did you do Facebook ads?
Yes. We relied heavily on Facebook. We hired and this is one of the best stories as well. I hired at the time Souk.com, which is today the Amazon. I hired the entire marketing team. I just took the entire team and put them in Property Finder, and it just moved things between day and night to the better. We started bringing a lot more leads for our clients. We started seeing a lot more visits and less bounce rates to the website. So it changed things completely.
Yeah.
You learn a lot of things about going to these markets. Each market behaves differently. Your competition in Saudi was completely different as well, from Egypt, from Morocco, from Lebanon. In Saudi, they relied heavily on a classified website called Haraj that's been around for many, many, many years. And if you look at it, the platform, the user experience is pretty simple. I mean, but this is what the crowd is used to. So my advice, if you want to go into a market, use something that most people would use to navigate as something to start with. Developing. So develop something that's similar to that, where the users would come and it would be easy for them to find their way around.
Yeah, they're familiar with that
way
of doing it.
Once you have the crowd, once you have the masses coming to your website, then you can do the changes.
Yeah.
Because by then they know that you should have this kind of filters because you had them before. They just have to look for it.
Yeah.
Instead of bringing your advanced technology from your advanced country or from a different way of doing things in that country to another.
Yeah,
and expect people to understand it.
And I presume those changes you make, they have to be incremental. You can't do sweeping changes.
Absolutely,
it's just a little bit at a time.
Slowly
to educate them.
Exactly.
And you were telling me that you were actually tracking the way where the mouse is going.
Yes, so there were a lot of tools that that you could use to monitor the site visits. See, you have heat maps to see where most of the clicks are happening, but you also have video sessions recording the users, how was their journey, in which page did they stop, when did they exit, and when you see that a pattern that's happening a few times with some users on the same area, that something has to change.
Yeah.
It could be that they can find a button where it says next or submit or call. It could be simple things like that, or they couldn't find a certain filter. And you would adjust based on those.
Yeah. And then from Property Fight, you did a couple of years there, is that right?
That's right.
And then you went into event management?
Exactly. So I did into events manager. It was actually also a tech company. So it was an online platform where you do casting and hiring photographers and videographers for the events market, and video and videography and commercials in the UAE. And that's where I spent a couple of years as well.
And were you still doing property deals sort of in your spare time, if you like?
During that time, not so many. Actually, it was after 2014. There was a boom in 2014, and things kind of in Dubai slowed down when it comes to the property market. So around that time is when I was there. So there was not many transactions, and I didn't think it was the best to spend my time on the business I was running at the time. So that's where I put my focus in. But when the market picked up again, I thought, okay, that was a great opportunity to go back into real estate, but this time full on.
Yeah. And who did you join then?
I joined Belleview.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you were there 2.5 years, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Talk to me about Bellevue, because they pay quite a high commission rate, don't they?
They did. So the Bellevue is great for entrepreneurial agents who like to do things on their own, do their own marketing campaign.
Don't really need the training so much.
No, exactly. Exactly. For somebody who knows the market really well, knows how to get their clients, they have their own budget for their campaigns. If they want to expand make their own team and hire their own admins and assistants and agents, they can. So it was perfect for me. It was really a great place to start with full time on.
Yeah, and I can see how it's worked for you, because we've already sort of discussed about you're a people person, you got the finance, but by this stage you've really got the technology background as well.
Yes.
So those three together, it's a very powerful combination.
And that's what attracted me to eXp.
Right. Yeah.
That's what brought me
Let's
here.
get on to eXp.
Yeah. Actually, because when I saw the eXp model, and it comes with all this suite of tools that you have access to, so I don't have to subscribe to tons of other things, like Canva Pro or separately, or different marketing tools. So I saw that it's already embedded within eXp model. I thought that was a great advantage. But of course, I mean, up to 95% commission, that would attract any agent, any good agent in town who have set up his own pool of clients, who's been in the market for a while. This is a very attractive setup. I mean, up to 95% in commission.
Yeah, it's funny. I often think of it. I get a lot of guests from the UK on, and tax comes up, and the very high rates of tax in the UK and other Western countries. And they talk about, having to hand over, in the end, something like 50% over to the government. But if you're an agent in Dubai, many agencies, you have to hand over 40 or 50% of your commission to the company. And they are offering stuff in return for that. But the eXp model, with this up to 95% commission, sort of 75 to 95, isn't it? It's a no-brainer for certain people such as yourself that have got a bit of experience.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I set up a lot of companies in my time here in Dubai, and for me to set up another real estate agency, get the license, it's not complicated, but it would be a waste of my time as an established agent in the market. I'll leave all of that since it's been done, since it's you have the people in place, you have the admin, you have the accountants, you have the license. They worry about that, and I just focus on my clients, and I get up 95%. That's an amazing trade-off.
And because of the number of deals you're going to be doing, you will be on that 95% level
in 2 months.
In 2 months.
I just
you'll move from the 75 to the 95.
Absolutely. And then it's just for the rest of the year, you'll be clocking more than 95%.
Yeah.
And this is just a tip of the iceberg. The other very attractive part was one of the things that we're missing here in this market is a proper MLS, right?
Yeah.
Working with other agents. And today, Dubai is one of the hottest markets on earth. We know that 74% of the transactions that are happening are off plan. A lot of foreign investors are putting their money here, putting their trust in Dubai. How can I reach these people? Of course, online marketing, online presence, and doing all of that works. But at the same time, a company like eXp that happens to have set up in 27 countries
Yep.
with 88,000 agents, that's just a dream for me. I can now connect with other agents around the globe,
Just
in
one
the UK,
company.
in India, exactly. And with a click of a button, we have an agreement between each other.
Yeah, like a Form I if you're working here with another agent.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
It's just like A to A, Form I between
Or
two agents.
A to A, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have that trust because you both work under the same company. And he would have clients who are interested to invest in Dubai, but he has no contact in Dubai or not somebody who he can trust. But now he has someone who he can trust because he have an eXp agent in the same company that can feed him all these projects in Dubai to pitch to his clients, and somebody in Dubai to close all these deals for his clients because he's licensed here and signed up with these developers. So it's to me, this is one of the most attractive things that actually brought me to eXp.
Yeah. And when you look at different countries that we are in, when we came to the UK in 2019, we've gone from nothing there under Adam Day's leadership to it's actually the #1 brand now in the UK. Not the biggest agency, but it's the #1 brand, which is incredible in 5 years. You know, near 600 to 700 agents. India, more agents than that. South Africa, I think 2021, they opened in South Africa and they've already got 1,200 agents.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, I have no doubt that it'd be the same story here in Dubai. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, it is time.
Yeah, you have a lot of well-established agents in the city who are independent. There's a lot of small agencies that they've just opened up on their own, but they don't want to worry about all the admin work and dealing with all the portals, dealing with all the admin, the financing and accounting, especially with the VAT reporting, and now with the 9% income tax,
corporation tax.
You don't want to have to deal with any of that. You want to focus on your trade, on what you're best at. You want to meet clients, you want to close deals. That's what you want to be.
It's very rare for somebody to be a great sales agent, real estate agent. You could probably do it, but not many people can be a great agent and a great business person.
Right.
Because they're different skill sets. So that's the huge advantage of eXp. Plus the fact we are incentivized to bring on other agents, aren't we? And there's nobody better. I mean, other agencies will use recruitment staff or they'll outsource that. But one of the best people to go to is somebody that actually works at the company, and if they're financially incentivized to bring you on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I mean, this is just another layer. You know, this is another source of revenue at eXp. If you by growing your own team or by bringing on other agents to the company, you get also rewarded with every deal they close from the company's money, not from the agent's money.
That's right.
So that's just the icing on the cake, really.
And it's economies of scale because you've talked about these various tech options that we have.
Yeah.
And because it's a worldwide company, they can get fantastic deals with whether it's Canva or the CRMs or the property portals because they're in a position to do that, aren't they?
Right.
It's just one account for them.
Exactly.
We
have an agreement with Regis as well around the world. So if you're traveling and you needed an office space to work with, it's free. You go to any Regis office and work for free.
Yeah. So if you do want an office, and we can use the marina as well, we've got premises there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And complete freedom. So you can do 0 hours a month or hundreds of hours a month. So that's great. I watched another podcast that you were on, and you were talking about the importance of networking, and that's really worked well for you. And maybe that versus social media a bit or cold calling. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, there were, things are advancing and new technologies are coming up. We have to change our ways as well. We have to adapt. In the past, we used to do a lot of cold calling. We had the lists of owners and we would call them and see if they're trying to sell. I don't believe in that model anymore. I don't think this is the way going forward. I don't think so. Today, you get from maybe every 50 calls, you probably find one owner who's looking to sell his property, and the chances are he's already listed with 3 agents as is.
It's a tough gig, isn't it?
It is a tough gig, right?
Yeah.
And there's a risk as well that one of these calls is going to end you up in trouble with the land department and get you a fine.
Because you are breaking the law doing that now, unless it's your own database, maybe.
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of better ways to do this. Today, to gain a client, first you want them to like you and you want them to trust you. This is it. Once you have that,
Two key things.
Exactly. So how do you meet people? Where do you meet people? You have to find common interests, right? One of the things I encourage people to do, or tell the agents that I have to do, is go on to Meetup group. Find
Like
activities that you like.
Eventbrite or meetup.com.
Meetup, Meetup, Eventbrite. Event, you'd have certain events, like any fun events. Just go to them, mingle with people, meet people, right? Introduce them to themselves. Let them get to know you. Just be yourself. They'll like you. With time, they'll trust you, and they'll know you're an agent. So once they need something, they'll speak to you. If they have a friend who's looking for something, they'll say, "Oh, you know what? I know Mo is an agent. Speak to him. I trust the guy."
Yeah.
The same thing with Meetup. If you like hiking, go on hiking trips with people. So you need to expand your network of reach, because that's going to get you. This is by far for me the best way of getting clients. Right? Is establishing relationships, keep on networking, and a lot of agents start saying, "Oh yeah, I need to network," and they start going to these launches or other agency events.
Yeah, just meeting other agents.
That's not it.
They're not the clients.
They're good. You want to meet other good agents, because other agents going to help you close deals quicker.
Sure.
For example, like I would have 2 or 3 agents in every area that I can count on to give me the units that my buyers are looking for. So and I work with them regularly, right? So it's something you need to have as well. But to have grow your network of sellers or buyers or find clients, you need to go to all these events, find a common passion, find something you enjoy, especially for the youngsters. The 20, 21-year-olds who start in this business right now, actually, they have more opportunities than us, I would say. They have the energy. They don't have. They're not tied down socially due to marriage or kids or certain things. You can go on yacht parties that they throw around on an Eventbrite. You know, there's tons of them. Go there, have fun, meet people, mingle. You know, while doing so, they'll get to know you. They'll get to know what you do, and that's how we start growing your network. And you'll be surprised. You probably come out of a listing from one of these events much quicker than making calls like throughout a whole day.
Yeah.
I totally believe so.
Yeah. I totally agree with all that. Yeah, that's great advice. Before I let you go, do you want to talk about the future at all? Where do you see the next sort of 5 years for you personally?
Okay, I see me still in real estate in some capacity. I don't see me as active or as maybe I have my own team and maybe I'll oversee things in about 3 years' time.
And you can do that with eXp.
You can do that with eXp. I want to have my own team, a reliable team that can like a small firm inside a firm.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Business in a business.
I would oversee the operations of it. Yeah, that's where I see myself within the next 3 years.
Yeah. And Dubai, where do you see Dubai?
Oh, Dubai. At least I see this market's upward trajectory, at least for the Q2, Q3, 2027. And that's maybe things will start stabilizing a bit. But the future is looking great for Dubai.
The 2040 vision or the D33?
Yeah, 2034, 2033, I believe, is the vision as well for Dubai.
There's two, isn't there? There's 33 and 40.
Yeah. And you could see the new Dubai shaping with the biggest airport in the world approved. Yeah. The budget's approved. Work is ongoing. Expo City, Jebel Ali, Palm, the whole Hisan area is what they call it. That area, that's going to be the new Dubai. That's the future. So I tell all the agents to start directing their investors in that area. That's the future.
Yeah. Well, the future is very exciting for eXp. It's very exciting for Dubai. It's been great chatting with you today, Mo.
Thanks a lot, David, for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Cheers.